From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LA with incredible news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021, live and direct from Santa Monica, California. In this recording, we go over that incredible recon that will be passed finally this week. Wow, this is exciting news, as the House of Representatives will be voting and finishing the recon this week. This is despite whether the Congressional Budget Office report is finished or not. I have the latest details live on air today. Then we go over all these incredible clusters of checks that pay on average about $15,000. It's huge amounts of money. But you don't have to wait, because guess what? I'm going to show you how to get thousands of dollars today. From where? Third stimulus. It's paying on average about $45,000 to average viewers of this channel. You qualify for this money. I'm going to show you how to get in this recording. Then we'll be turning also to student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven across the board, $10,000 of it. And then fifth stimulus. You could see your benefits go through the roof next year with two more lifts after that 5.9% COLA raise. I'll have my commentary about the situation across the board as that recon goes to the finish line on a big, bold, beautiful day. The weather is beautiful here in Southern California, finally cooling down. And how is it where you are? Jump in the live chat, tell me where you're tuning in from and how the weather is as we go into a big, bold, beautiful noontime. It's exciting as the recon is going to get passed. So you're going to get thousands of dollars from third stimulus today, starting today. I have all those details and more, and it starts right now. Hey, good noontime, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day, and we're live on air direct from Santa Monica, California. With your House deal done, that vote on that reconciliation budget bill that'll pay you on average a lot of money is going to be finalized this week. The vote could start today, it could start tomorrow, or it could start no later than the end of this week. And it's happening whether or not we have a Congressional Budget Office report. We're done. We're done with the House of Representatives. It's a big celebratory moment as that recon will be going over the finish line that pays you enormous amounts of money, and it's about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. But you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus. You don't have to look at the mailbox or look at the direct deposit account, because guess what? Third stimulus is still paying money. It's paying on average $45,000. You can get that money starting today. I'm going to show you how to get thousands of dollars in your wallet. You need some money today. I'll show the details to you in this recording. We'll be turning also over to the exciting details of student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven across the board, $10,000 of it. And then fifth stimulus. You need that raise up because your benefits are still behind on where they should be. It's huge. It's right now, and it's happening at noontime. I'm excited you're here, and we got a lot coming up in this video. And with that, thank you for joining me on a big noontime. And this, my friends, is LALATE, America's most talked about and most comprehensive financial news channel. Live in the morning like right now and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is the 1 o'clock afternoons LALATE. This video will automatically take you there. So subscribe. You don't want to miss a single video, and you don't want to lose thousands of dollars that are available for you today. Like this video and consider becoming a member to get that incredible newsletter, which is featured later in this broadcast. Let's go over what we're going to cover in this video. We're going to go over broadly the four stimulus package programs that pay you a lot of money. Then we're going to go back over the voting process that's going to finish this House this week, House of Representatives. Then we're going to go over each of these programs, the checks, and your eligibility, because you qualify for it, coming back into third stimulus and the thousands of dollars you can get right today. Get a pen and paper ready. Stay throughout this entire video, because there's a lot of money. And then we'll go to student loan debt forgiveness and fifth stimulus later in the video. And away we go. Well, the great news is that this recon, when passed, will pay you on average about $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. Now, when third stimulus passed, I said I can get you about $15,000. I got viewers on average 45,000. The same programs that paid out 45,000 under the third stimulus are repeated under the third stimulus. So this number is probably very undervalued. It's probably much higher than this. And this is just on the House bill. Senators are adding more stuff on top of that. So get that pen and paper ready. Here we go. Here is the overview of the checks that are going to get passed by this House of Representatives. Hazard pay, back-end check, earned income tax credit for my essential workers, one more year. $4,000 of elder care for my caring for my elders, front-end check. Then $4,000 to care for young children. They got in there the Pell Grant for my college students, $550 checks to them, front-end checks. Then they got one of the best provisions in this recon, the home repairs if you live in a low-income community. Wow, that is a front-end check. They got in there $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, back-end check. And then they got the CTC, the child tax credit, for the parents of the young children, a low-income household, front-end check, $3,600 or a little bit less. There you go. Everything in the first cluster. Passed the subcommittee, passing in the House this week, and it pays you a lot. That was about $5,000 right there, folks. Let's go to the first add-on. And if any of these checks are fascinating to you, they should be. So stay with me later in this video. I'm going to show you how you get them and what the eligibility is. The first add-on is free money to go buy a house. Yeah, you heard me right. Free money to go buy a house. It's insane, and it comes from the wonderful Maxine Waters. She's the legislator here in Los Angeles, and she got a provision in this recon that gives you money, hard cold cash, to go buy a first home. During the escrow period, they give that money to the seller. She wanted his $25,000. It'll be a little bit less. We'll see the number, but stay with me. I'm going to explain the eligibility later in this video. There we go. Let's go to the second cluster of checks, and they are deliciousness. In that second cluster, we have more home repairs, paid family leave, front-end check. Then we have household tax credit, back-end check. Pre-kindergarten as well, and that is free. That is a front-end check. Weatherize your home. You definitely need to weatherize your home because you got to be in the holiday spirit and have that white all over the windows and the glass. No, that's not weatherizing your home. That's flocking your home. No, we're not flocking the home like it's a Christmas tree. We're weatherizing the home so that when Mitch and the lobsters come by to carol their favorite lobster tunes, they will not be able to get near the house. You'll be weatherized against Mitch, which is always very helpful. Let's go the second add-on of checks. And the second add-on of checks are wonderful. They're actually benefits. These are actually benefits, not checks. And it's from Bob Casey, $250 billion of free home health care for my seniors and workers. He didn't get that number, but got a little bit less. Again, that is free home health care for my seniors and workers, seniors and people on disabilities. And there comes the third cluster. Well, here we go. This is where we get to the big moolah. And it's free school meals for all checks. Then we got cheaper prescription medication, immigration reform, free internet, farmers. Then we got Medicare, we got workers like independent contractors, and the Medicare expansion. Well, let's go over the details of that. Two provisions on the House in there, and then two being added by Bernie on the Senate, he says. Or actually three by Bernie. So the House bill will have in there the Medicaid gap states coverage, and then the hearing aids. Bernie on the Senate side vows to add in dental, vision, and dropping the Medicare eligibility age to a younger age. Wow. There you go. And the third add-on onto all these incredible clusters that so far bring you to at least $15,000 is the MSC, which stands for monthly or multiple IRS stimulus check. The last time we had legislators talking about this, they were saying $2,000 the first month, $1,000 thereafter, for a total of 6 months. Eligibility same as third stimulus. Single individuals, $75,000 or less. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Household of 4 or less. Adult dependents included, SSI and SSDI included. And there you go. It will not be in the House bill. It's not in the House bill. It can be added by the senators if they do what they have indicated to viewers. The 2 C's, the 2 W's, and the 2 S's have indicated they want to add those provisions in there. And they are Coons-Casey, Warren-Wyden, Sanders-Schumer. You need to pick up the phone and dedicate one day to calling the C's, one day to calling the W's, and one day to calling the S's. But what's important to understand is that you need to advocate, but you also need to be getting the big money, thousands of dollars that is available today. Do you have bills that you have to pay today? You do. Do you have bills that are due tomorrow? You do. And you can get those paid under third stimulus. Thousands of dollars. The average viewer of the channel gained $45,000. How do you get this money? Stay with me. It's coming up later in this video. So advocate for this inclusion of this MSC and also pick up the phone and call for your money that is available in the third stimulus. The message from the chief of staff to the president, to the number one guy on that recon says, please continue your encouragement for the continued advocacy as a professional voice of the people you have become, LA, and continue until this becomes law. Absolutely. And with that, we go into the exciting second half of this video, and that second half has the big deal, as a House deal has now been reached, and that House deal has a vote happening this week, confirmed, signed, sealed by Nancy Pelosi. Whether or not we have a Congressional Budget Office report, in full or in part, so far in part. And that will pay you, these programs, in this fourth stimulus recon, about $15,000. But you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus recon to become law, because I'm going to show you how to get thousands of dollars on the third stimulus starting today. And if you've gotten money before for third stimulus on this channel, you can get more. This is you. You're eligible. We'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven upwards of $10,000. And then we'll be turning to the big COLA raise, 5.9%. It's not enough. That's why fifth stimulus is needed. It's been coming up right after that COLA raise. Those details and more, and the exciting money across third and fourth stimulus that is available for you, some as early as today. It's coming up in the second half of this video. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds, but first, here's a little bit about the community page. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now as we go into a big second half of noontime. The exciting details as a House deal is done. And that vote on that House deal will be this week. Away we go. With or without the Congressional Budget Office report released, the RECON will pay you $15,000 across all these incredible clusters of checks. I'm so excited for you. This is a big day across the board. Then we'll be turning to student loan debt forgiveness. More debt could be forgiven. And then the fifth stimulus rise about that as well. Those details and my commentary later in this video. I saw some of your comments during the commercial break, and boy, do I have some commentary about them. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video and consider becoming a member. Next up is the 1 o'clock Afternoons LA. You don't want to miss that show. It is deliciousness. And then 3 o'clock Afternoons LA, totally brand new. Evenings LA, 5 p.m., totally brand new as well. And with that, here we go into the exciting final vote of your recon on the House side. Wow. The breaking news as you go into a big afternoon is that Nancy Pelosi's holding her promise. She will be calling the vote on your fourth stimulus recon, aka the spending bill or the reconciliation or the budget plan, this week. The week of November 15th is this week, and that final vote on the House will be solidified as a result of a negotiated deal with the moderate Democrats over a week ago. The language said that we would call the vote no later than the week of November 15th. after they release the Congressional Budget Office report. But the end of the sentence is by no regards any later than the week of November 15th. The Congressional Budget Office report will not be finished in totality by the end of this week. And Nancy Pelosi solidified that the vote will be called whether or not that Congressional Budget Office report will be done. Three more provisions of that CBO report will be released today, 3 more of them, on top of the 3 that were released before. But whether or not the CBO report is done or not done, that vote will happen as early as today and as late as Friday. That is huge because away we go and we are done, finally, in a big celebratory moment with that recon on the House. That recon will pay you about $15,000 across all these incredible classes of checks. And what's important for you to understand is that this channel is about information. This channel is about showing you how to get things. And when third stimulus became law, I said, listen, here is where you get this money. And you have done so well from third stimulus. I'm so excited for you. Average view of this channel getting 45,000. Fourth stimulus is going to be the same way. You need to get a pen, you need to get a paper, and you need to learn about how to get this huge sum of money. Someone during the commercial break said, I'm just praying to God they get that MSC done and we're finally finished. No, that's not the focus where you should be. I got to be blunt. That's not where the focus should be. You shouldn't be praying to God for MSC. You should be getting a pen and paper and learning about all these programs that you qualify for, because this is where the big money is. This is massive money, more than any MSC ever is. And it starts with the first program, and it alone is upwards of about $6,000 for you. What is the first program? It's paid leave, family leave across the board. What does that mean? You have to stay home from work because of illness, death, or birth of a child of someone in the household. Now, if you do not work, but your family member does, let's say you live with your son and daughter, they get the benefits, they get the check. So you need to learn the information so you tell them how to get it as well. How much does it pay? A fortune. $1,700 a week if you make $70,000 or more per year. $800 a week if you make $35,000 or more per year, approximately. $400 a week if you make $15,000 or more per year. That is wonderful. And how many weeks? Up to 4 weeks a year. Whoa, 4 times $1,700, that's $5,000 to $6,000. It's huge. The great news is that this is you. How many times has your son or daughter taken you to a dental exam this year, or taking you to the doctors for a doctor visit? Maybe twice, 3 times. How many times have you been out for the flu for a week and your son or daughter had to stay home from work? They're getting a huge check. If it's you staying home, you're getting the huge check. Either way, it's a lot of money. And the great part about it, it's everyone, all income levels and all type of workers. So if your son or daughter makes $200,000 or your son or daughter makes $20,000, they're getting the check, or you're getting the check, whoever is the person that suffers of the situation. And then whether you're W-2 or 1099, you're getting as well. The second big benefit in this recon is the SALT. SALT is state and local tax deductions on a federal tax return. Let's say you pay $15,000 of state taxes, and then you go over that federal tax return. You cannot deduct all of it. Under the 2017 tax overhaul by Donald Trump, you can only deduct $10,000 of your state and local taxes on the federal tax return. Now you'll be able to deduct $72,500 of state and local on your federal tax return. They got $40 billion in job trainings in this. This is huge because on the fifth stimulus, they're going to get rid of the rule that says you cannot work and stay on benefits. And that's the case. If you want to go do a temp job or start to just do something because you're sort of bored, the federal government give you free job training. Here comes a big one. Big, cheap prescription, big, cheap health coverage. I get this question all the time. The Medicaid gap fix. There's 12 holdout states where Republican governors did not want to pay for Obamacare, and that might be your state. Now the Democrats put in this recon an incredible workaround plan that'll offer years of subsidized private insurance to low-income people in those 12 Republican governor states. Wow. Which brings us to one of the best provisions of this recon. Housing assistance. $150 billion for rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, home repairs, weatherizing your home, and the purchase price of your first home. Now, notice those words in there. Yes, third stimulus also had rent, utility, mortgage assistance, and other items. The big news is that third stimulus is still paying, so you don't have to wait for fourth stimulus to get this money. And now let's take a step back on the third stimulus. The big news is that while you want to advocate for fourth stimulus, while you want to watch for fourth stimulus, you also want to pick up the phone today and start calling and getting third stimulus money. Average viewer of this channel has gotten on average $45,000 of third stimulus, and many viewers have gone from $0 to $80,000 in just a few days by listening to this channel and getting this money. Let's start with overview. First, you qualify. You 100% qualify. You qualify if you are in a Republican state or a Democrat state, rich state, poor state. You qualify if you're on disabilities or non-disabilities, have children or don't have children, work, don't work, old or young. It's available absolutely 100% everywhere, and you qualify for it. All you have to do is listen to the video, make notes, and make the phone calls. And let's start with rent. Rent is astronomical. And if for any of these items, if you've gotten them before, you can get them again. When we look at the rent numbers have gone up a lot. About 3 months ago, this was the graphic on rent. Average viewers of the channel were getting about $20,000 for rent at the time. Let's look at the graphic then. This is what it'll look like about 2 to 3 months ago. Now people for rent are getting on average about $40,000 for rent. So if you're in the live chat and you're waiting for fourth stimulus, you say, but I need it to pay my rent bill. No, you don't want fourth stimulus to pay your rent bill. You want to get the third stimulus to pay it right today. It's available today, instantly. Rent numbers have now gone up for $40,000. So where do you go? What do you do? What do you say? Here you go. You are going to reach out to 6 places. Repeat, the number is 6. It's not 1. It's 6. You must, M-U-S-T, reach out to all 6. If you reach out to one and it says no, do not stop. Reach out to all 6. They have different eligibility. They have different pots of money. The 6 places you're going to reach out to are City Hall, City House Authority, County Hall, County House Authority, State Hall, State House Authority. Keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You, if you're a member of this channel, have these 6 places in the newsletter that comes out nightly. You also have the Treasury statement. The Treasury statement you want to read first before you make the phone calls. Why? Because the Treasury statement explains the new $13 billion of cash infusion for rent, so you know what it is. And there you go. There's 6 places you reach out to, and you must reach out to all 6. Next, utilities. Here you go. These were the utilities 3 months ago. They've now grown to about $15,000, but they're going to go even higher. Mark's brother-in-law got $15,000 for utilities. You want to reach out to all your utility companies, not one. And heating oil has gone up 59.1% year to date, says the new consumer price index number gauging inflation released last week. You want to get these big sums of money right now because heating oil, those other numbers are going to kick in really big in the next few days. Food. You want to get that money for food. What are you waiting for? You get it from Department of Agriculture. Why are you paying for your own food? Have Department of Agriculture pay for it. Eligibility is easy in the stimulus check. Mark's brother-in-law getting $25,000 a year from this channel. That is over 10 years, $250,000. SNAP is money for food. You get it from Department of Agriculture, and it pays a lot. Next, you want to get multiple items. You don't want to get one item, stop. Here are multiple items, like Nancy at $32,000. Mark, he got $50,000, but he didn't stop there. You should never stop and say, I'm fine, I got 2 items. No, he's now at over $100,000 because he's still pushing. Lorraine, she was at $105,000. She's now at $120,000 across the board. Case in point, about a month ago, 2 months ago, we had 3 viewers who started the week at $0. I was covering things like Mark and Lorraine's situation. And 3 viewers were listening in. By the middle of the week, 3 of them got $45,000 from third stimulus from 4 items. One of those people was Johnny. By the Saturday or Sunday, he went from 4 items approved to 7 items. He kept on calling. He got 7 items approved, $80,000. Now, what do you think he did to get $80,000? He did not just call 7 places. He called probably 15 places. He didn't just get rent from one place. Here's what you need to do and what you need to not do. You need to apply as many places as possible and get funded by as many places as possible. You can get rent from different places. You can apply for rent at different places. Do not put one application for rent in and sit back and say, they haven't called me back. No, 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 that's not how it works. Get rent paid as many places as you can. Utilities paid as many places as you can. Understand that this is not covered in your print media. It is not covered in your broadcast media. It is not covered in the search engine of a search engine result. It's not covered in the local news channel. You're not going to see this. And this is what has been the case for over a year. So if you hear this here and you don't hear it anywhere, how are people getting $45,000 from that kid in LA? Because I cover this. This is what I do. This is what this channel does. Here's an example. Johnny, when he got that $80,000, the next week he turned to his family members. They've known him his whole life. They're very smart family members. He said, I just got $80,000. I want to show you how to get it. They said, I haven't heard about this. Why haven't I not heard about this? Why is it not on broadcast media? Because they're covering the Kardashians. They're not covering this. And he showed them they were not believers. And by the end of that week, each of them got $50,000. Mark did the same thing with his brother-in-law. His brother-in-law got more than Mark, got a lot of money. And that is what you want to do. Do not spend your time in a chat on this channel saying, I'm praying that MSC is coming because I need to pay for my rent. No, you get your rent paid on the third stimulus right now. You don't look to fourth stimulus to pay your rent. You don't look for fourth stimulus to pay your utilities or your mortgage or anything about those subject matters or food or clothing or small appliances because the nonprofits pick up that as well. You get it right now. I'll have more about this later in my commentary. But now let's go back into fourth stimulus and those programs where we left off at housing assistance. So the other items that are new under fourth stimulus are weatherizing your home. Weatherizing your home won't involve just a low-income community at the moment, and it'll be things that are typical for weatherizing your home. It'll be a grant is how they're proposing to do it. The home repairs, a lot of questions I get about this. This is low-income community homes, and this is likely just a grant, a flat grant. People have been asking me, is it like an estimate, and I do an estimate? No, it's probably just a grant is what they're talking about. And first-time home purchases, first-time home, single family, and purchases. So we don't think it's low income at all. And we don't see the definitions yet of what is first and what type of home, but it's presumably any type of home. $550 checks for my college students on the Pell Grant, that's coming out. Then $150 billion for my seniors on Medicare that are their seniors or people disabled for the home health care services. $12,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle, U.S. auto manufactured. This is fascinating. And this is getting very interesting by the day. The RECON has in there $12,500 back-end tax credits when you buy an electric vehicle from the U.S. auto manufacturer. That's Ford, GM, Chrysler, and their subsidiaries. But I heard a new report this morning. I don't know if it's true, but I believe it. I'm going to look it up myself. That under the infrastructure, the roads and bridges that's signed into law today, if a business buys an electric vehicle, 30% of it is taxable, is a tax refund. Whoa, a tax deduction. 30% of it is a tax deduction. Whoa, I'm going to look that up. I'll see if that's true. They got in there child tuition, $65 checks when the student is not in school. Which brings us to one of the best provisions of this RECON. It is the cheaper medication. Wow. For 20 years, Medicare has not been able to negotiate prices of medication because that's how they were established. And for 20 years, Big Pharma tried to keep the status quo. That ended 2 weeks ago. What's happening? The moment this becomes law, medications will be cheaper instantly overnight. 20 medications, the most expensive medications, like cancer, arthritis, and diabetes, will dramatically be cheaper because Medicare and Big Pharma will have to negotiate in good faith. Case in point, they're using one example, is insulin, going from $900 a dose to $35 overnight. The number of medications will grow from about 20 initially on Medicare Part B and D to about 28 medications by the year 30 medications by the year 2028. They cannot increase more than the rate of inflation. And if they do, Big Pharma is penalized. Now, that penalization is one of the many provisions that the Senate parliamentarian is going to look at. Can you put a penalization provision in a RECON? Who's the Senate parliamentarian? She is a government official who determines the rules of the Senate. She's going to look at the RECON and determine whether that provision has to come out. Senator Pat Toomey believes it does not belong in there by RECON. Other provisions in jeopardy are immigration reform. I think it's coming out because she's previously ruled it cannot go in a recon. Paid leave. Many think that does not belong in a recon. We'll see across the board. And GOP leaders are now saying that any provision they think violates the rules of the Senate, they're going to put it up for her review as well across the board. And with that, we're going to watch that, but we're also going to watch where our pen and paper is, because we're going to grab it right now and go over some of the other incredible checks in this recon. But first thing you need to know is that the senators are vowing to add a lot of stuff to this recon. You're looking at a recon, which I, at the moment, am saying it pays about $15,000. Yeah, and you and I know that is a very, very undervalued number. Why? Why is it an undervalued number? For several reasons. One, this number is based upon third stimulus, where the average viewer got $45,000 from rent, utility, mortgage assistance, and all that money is repeated again under fourth stimulus, but with more allocation to it. So this is a low valuation, and it also is low because it's before the Senate gets it, and the Senate can add other items across the board. Bernie Sanders says the Senate is going to make a lot of changes. Best bill since the 60s, but has major gaps in it. When asked, are you going to make changes? He says, of course. Ron Wyden says he's going to make changes. Chuck Schumer expected to make changes, and we're expecting changes across the board, says Coons and also Senator Murphy. So what are some of those other checks in this incredible recon? Let's go over some of them right now. Pre-kindergarten, front end check, 1 year. Childcare, back end check. Then the CTC, child tax credit, 1 year, front end check, $3,600. Earned income tax credit for my essential workers, back end check. And then home health care, likely a covered benefit or a check. The hearing could be a check, just a voucher check in the mail to buy that hearing aid. We went over the housing aid. It's huge. We went over the Pell Grant, $550 checks. And we went over the $65 per student per child when not in school. So what are the provisions Bernie would add besides the push to add an MSC in there as well? Dental, vision, and lowering eligibility age. He says we're the only modern country that doesn't have these provisions in there. First, dropping the Medicare eligibility age, yes. Currently 65. Bernie wants it lower. He wants a 55. Bob Casey, who got that other provision in there, wants it 60. Next, dental vision. Bernie last saw those two provisions in the House bill before they were removed as checks. Dental was last in there as an $850 check to you if you're a senior. And then it came out. He wants it bigger, though. He wants it 10 years of benefits or at least 3 years of full benefits. We'll see what happens with that. And how about the vision? He wants an eye exam and a pair of frames per year. Very easy. $50 eye exam, $100 frames, for example, which has caused, have you seen it? It's very fascinating. Have you seen the new hit? It is called Frame Wars. Frame Wars in the live chat on this channel. Oh boy, it has caused Frame Wars to heat up. What is Frame Wars? It started with one viewer saying, my frames, just the frames, just the frame, not the prescription, my frames. My daughter buys for me. She pays $450 a frame, and I believe Medicare should pay the cost of that. Yeah, Medicare is not shopping at Fendi. Medicare is not Christian Dior. They do not shop at the finest stores on the Champs-Élysées in Paris, France. No, they do not. That is not the House of Gaga, and this is not the House of Gaga. So Medicare is not paying $450 a frame. To which we also saw in Frame Wars in the live chat where people saying, I go to a very nice optometrist and he charges frame eye exam $900. He's just this nice guy. And someone said, he's nice because he's taking all your money. That's a ridiculous price for that. So we're seeing crazy prices for frames in the live chat. I don't know what is going on. But no, Medicare is not buying you a Birkin bag for $65,000, and they're not buying you a nice pair of Fendi shoes, and they're not buying you $450 Christian Lacroix glasses either. But I appreciate the effort. So there we go. Here are some things that don't add up. Also is the child tax credit. I show a $60,000 or less household. And then I show a little bit more money for housing. I show a $175. I show the in-home healthcare, $200 billion. I have more about this in my commentary coming up in a second, but let's turn over some student loan debt forgiveness. $10,000, yeah. Democrats have an offer. They should take it. Press is not doing 50,000. They keep on thinking he will. He's not. They should take the $10,000 for now and then try to get more next year. He's previously waived student loan debts for individuals who became disabled, worked in the nonprofit sector, the public sector for 10 years after graduation. Fifth stimulus. Very fascinating. Your benefits are going up next year under this COLA raise of 5.9%. And that's lifetime. But that's not enough. What is COLA? COLA is a horrible benchmark that your benefits have been tied to for many years. Pre-pandemic, prices went up and COLA was flat. COLA didn't move. And so you got no more money. You didn't get extra money. Then during the pandemic, prices went up. COLA was flat. You didn't get any extra money. Now after the pandemic, inflation is going up really high and COLA is just a little bit higher. So this is why they want to get rid of it. First, they want to bring you up to a big new number because they think you're caught behind. You are caught behind. You're not contemporary with the contemporary numbers. Then they want to apply a new benchmark every December. They'll do it this coming December, 2022, not 2021. Then the December after that, tied to inflation. And inflation is not going to be zero. It's 2 or 3% every year. So that means you're going to keep on getting step-ups every year. They're going to remove the asset cap, remove the income cap, and remove the marriage penalty. And love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. Finally, if you're not become a member, what are you doing? The membership link is under this video. Become a member to get that incredible newsletter Monday through Friday so you learn about the big money you can get under first, second, and third stimulus. Thousands of dollars available for you right today, and you want to get that membership newsletter right away. The membership newsletter features the money for the 5 nonprofits, the 6 places you reach out to, features the treasury statement, teaches you how to get the sums of money so that you can get on average $45,000 as viewers across the board have done so as well. And with that, that brings me into my commentary today, which actually relies also upon one of the comments I saw during the commercial break. One of the comments during the commercial break is sort of along the lines of what I wanted to cover in the commentary today. And the viewer during the commercial break said a horrible comment, which said, "Oh, wow, the voting's happening. I can't wait for this nightmare to end." Nightmare to end. And I thought to myself, wow, really out of focus. And I got to tell you why. It's so out of focus because there's thousands of dollars available for you under third stimulus right today. You should not be watching the events of Congress and be using that as the basis to pay your rent or your utilities or your mortgage or your food or your internet or some small home repairs or your holiday meals or your appliances, because all those things are picked up by third stimulus or the nonprofits. Here's what you need to know is that I've been doing this for a while. And in December of last year, November last year, we were waiting for second stimulus to happen. Actually, worse situation. The HEROES Act was sitting around. It couldn't go anywhere because Mitch McConnell was in charge of the Senate. And I said, you need money to pay your bills during the holidays. And I got people's bills paid, got them paid all the way to the future into many, many months, because that's how they pay the bills. They don't just pay old bills. They don't pay just contemporary bills. They pay bills forward. And these were people who had gotten this money paid before. They got another round. They got paid forward. It just changed their holidays. You can't imagine how it changed their holidays when they got their massive bills paid across the board. Viewers have continually proven that when they take the information, they can do even bigger than what I teach them. I've had viewers constantly say they get their past due medical bills sometimes paid by the nonprofits. So I've seen things happen I didn't even know possible. What does it involve? Picking up the phone and calling. It involves picking up the phone and calling. Now, here's what you need to know. And here's a tough love moment as well. Let's say there's 2 people in the live chat. They're both from Houston, and they both are watching this video. Let's say one person from Houston posts in the live chat, there's no money for rent or anything in Houston. Houston doesn't care. There's no money in the whole state of Texas. They don't care. So they're just never there. Imagine the other viewer who's from Houston, who's in the live chat watching that, reading that, thinking, maybe I won't call because the other person just said there's no money. When you post that incorrect information, there's no money in Houston, no money in the state of Texas, you're hurting someone else. You're instantly hurting someone else because you're discouraging them from getting the money. I've been making these videos a long time. And when I was live on air last year, I would often have people in the live chat saying, watching a video. And I would be saying, okay, so this person yesterday got from Michigan got money from this place. And this person from Michigan got money from this place. And there's be someone in the live chat saying, I'm in Michigan, there's no money. I'm like, I just read 3 people on camera who just got money in Michigan. And it would just happen all the time. And what's important to understand is that there's 2 types of persons that are doing that. One type of person is a person who did not make the effort, or a second is a person who deliberately didn't make the effort or unintentionally didn't make the effort. A person who deliberately didn't make the effort is a person who just simply doesn't want to make the phone calls, doesn't want to make the phone calls. The other type of person is the person who doesn't listen, and they make one phone call and they stop. I called one place. I called the city. They said it doesn't exist, so I'm done. Thank you. I really need MSC. No. Did you call 6 places? No, I called 1. And sometimes the viewers in the live chat are very good. They'll actually ask someone, how many phone calls did you make? Did you make 6 phone calls? No, I made 1. And they told me stop calling. That doesn't work. You're supposed to make 6 phone calls because there's 6 places, 6 different places with different eligibility. There's often that person that wants to convince themselves that they don't qualify. They don't have money because unless you're behind on the bills, wrong. Unless if you're on SSI, don't pay, wrong. If I'm in a Republican state, they don't pay, wrong. And they convince themselves there's no money. Now, I can't help that person. If that person wants to do that fake narrative in their mind, I can't help that person. What I can get to is the person who's listening, who wants to learn, who understands there's money for this. It's important that you dedicate in your given week time to call Coons and Casey, Warren and Wyden, Sanders and Schumer to advocate for that MSC and watch and advocate for everything that's in this recon and learn about everything that's in the 4 stimulus recon. But do also dedicate 1 or 2 days to pick up the phone and get as many of your utility bills paid. Get that rent paid. Get that food paid. Get the nonprofits to pick up the money if you're missing if you need a portable space heater. They'll give you one right away because that money is available there for you to get. When that viewer said, this nightmare to end, what's the nightmare? You have bills to pay? The nightmare ends today. You pick up the phone and start getting the money today. That 3rd stimulus is available. There's no nightmare because your bills are paid. The only things I cannot pay under 3rd stimulus for you are major home repairs, like a broken roof, that's $35,000, or a car repair. Almost any other bill I can get paid for you under 3rd stimulus. And that's why it's incredibly great news. If you got this money before, you can get another round. If you haven't gotten this money before, you need to get it right now. When you get that money, it just changes your life. And I don't know how to express that until you feel it. And a lot of viewers really feel the addiction to it when it happens. They get 1 item paid, and then they're like, wow, I got 1. I'm going to get another one. Then I'm going to get another one. And then suddenly it starts to grow. Even a few $100s. We have Margaret in the live chat all the time. She gets a few $100s here and there every few days. She got another program paying this one, another program paying that one. You have Mark. He didn't stop at 50,000. He went back and got 100,000. You have Lorraine. She didn't stop at 100. She went to 120, 130. Keeps on getting additional sums of money. It works. It works, and it's there. And that's how I want you to laser focus. I see some great progress. I'm very excited. One of the volunteers sent me a private message just before this recording, and he heard my message over the weekend that normally volunteers get 16 requests a day. He had gotten nothing in 3 days. I said, big trouble. I'm bringing back 3rd stimulus gangbusters. He got 3 requests just since this morning. Now remember, you don't want to treat the volunteers like they have a tree of cash in the back of their house. They are there to aid you after you make the effort. If you know how to use a telephone, you can do this. If you know how to dial a telephone, you know how to do this. You can pick up the phone and call. The people who have gotten big sums of money on this channel have made the effort to call. When I use Johnny, I don't use Johnny because he got $8,000 as an example. I use Johnny because he made so many phone calls. In 1 week, he had to have made at least 14 phone calls to get 7 items approved. He didn't make 1 phone call, and he got rent from different places. He got lots of overlap, so he got several items of the same thing across the board. You can do this, and that's what I've been doing on this channel for a very long time. in the thick of winter in December 2020, as the pandemic was really out of control, we didn't see second stimulus going anywhere. I got people big sums of money for rent and utilities. We're doing it again right today. You're going to get off this video, and during the commercial break, between this break of this video and the next one, you're going to start making some phone calls. If you're not a member, get that membership newsletter. Lean on other people. There's often people in the live chat that say, I'm in the same state. I'll tell you where I got the money from in my state, where to reach out to. And you can do this. I have faith in you, because this is what we've done all along. If you have the strength, if you have the courage, if you have the willingness to learn, you will get this big sums of money. And so with that, join me on Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock show. It's coming up next. This video will automatically take you there. Then we got the 3 o'clock Afternoons LA show. It's a big new show today. I don't want you to miss it. Then Evenings LA at 5 o'clock, big one as well. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this incredible family. Tell your friends to come on over. Tell your friends to come on and watch this channel. It's true. What happened with Johnny? What happened with Mark's brother-in-law? It's not going to be covered on broadcast media. You're never going to see this on broadcast media. Don't go to a search engine and type in, is there a forced stimulus check? Search engine is not there to help you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to get you the big sums of money. Cash is king. The more cash you can get, the better you are. And I'll see you next on the 1 o'clock Afternoons LA.